There it is. Tried to make that of my Mac work and trying to make it a little bit more, a little bit better, and less cords running all over the place. So appreciate you, Chuck, for letting me know about the audio issues. So that's gotten figured out. Let me go ahead and take that off a screen here. All right. Okay, here we are. All right, so let's go back and let's talk about our editing. All right, so let's start this again. So if you're here, just like the thumbnail says, just like the video says, we are editing down a vlog. So I took a hike today, vlogged it a little bit, a very simple vlog. You know, it's a POV vlog style today, and shot with the Insta360 Go 3. So if you're new to DaVinci Resolve, you're new to editing, you're new to vlogging, you're new to using the Insta360 Go 3, I'm here to show you guys, one, what the footage from that particular camera looks like, how it mixes with DJI drone footage, how to easily color correct it, how to easily edit a simple vlog, and essentially how to work in DaVinci Resolve if you're new at it, or how I work in DaVinci Resolve. So not using anything special today other than the DaVinci Resolve Speed Editor. Highly recommend this piece of kit or this piece of equipment for editing if you work in DaVinci Resolve. This is one thing that is actually worth its cost. And I think it's about $300, maybe $350, but it has all the, you know, editing hotkeys that you need to edit. I have a video about it on my channel. So I'm going to be using that. That's going to help speed up our edit. Now, I did mention earlier that if you have music in your vlog, or you know you're going to have music in your video, it's almost imperative to bring in your music track early on, because you want to edit to the music. So if you know that you're going to have a fast-paced EDM track, you need your cuts and your edit to be fast. If you're going to have more of a cinematic slow video, then you need to make sure that your music is cinematic and slow, right? And the same with, like, if you got punk music or metal music or rap music, you want to make sure you're editing not always to the music, because sometimes you shoot the video first. You can't really tailor your video to the music unless you just have the music in your head already and you know what you want to convey. But you know, you want to edit to the music, so you bring it in and you can look at the different beats of the music, the spikes in the waveform, and then you can cut your video down to that. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hop over here in DaVinci Resolve, and I'm gonna show you guys, you know, exactly how I edit, and you know, how it can be super simple. It doesn't have to take you a lot of time. So let's go ahead and let's get rid of that, and then we will go back through what I talked about earlier. So, you know, any good story, any good vlog, you're going to need establishing shots. That is just the rule of storytelling, essentially. So I have some drone footage from where we hiked at today, and I decided that I was going to use this one. So I have this shot here. This is just me. This is sort of the behind the scenes of how it goes, trying to get the exposure right. So I went up and down a couple times. And then, you know, I was just monitoring my screen, see what the exposure looked like. And, you know, this is the establishing shot I want to use right here. So this is just me in the mountains coming across. This is the viaduct bridge. So there's a trail that goes underneath and interweaves with this bridge. It sort of like weaves underneath it, goes up here, comes down, and goes all across this mountain range up here. Now, like I said, you want to show the bridge, because I mentioned the bridge later on in the vlog. It's sort of the rule of Chekhov's gun in storytelling. If you're going to introduce a gun in your story at some point, or somebody's going to get shot, then you need to you need to show the gun in the beginning of your story in Act 1. So if I mention the bridge, I need to show the bridge, and the best way to do that is via drone, um, and an establishing shot. So here we go. So I think this is about where I want to start. This is a very slow cinematic move. So I'm going to press B on my keyboard for the shortcut. It's going to bring up my razor tool, and I'm just going to cut that right there. I'm going to press A for my cursor, Command X to get rid of the part that I don't want. And I'm going to ripple delete to move that, to the beginning of the timeline. So when I'm in here, you see my playhead moving here. I can grab the top part of my clip and I can drag it forward, and that's going to allow for a slow fade in. So here's what our establishing shot's going to look like. So slowly fades in from black, and we're going to put some cinematic music in here. I just don't have the right track in here yet, but you can see it's just going to slowly fade in, and this was me using a DJI Mini 3. So it's not me using one of my FPV drones, so this is just a very slow, just dollying in across the bridge. So we don't want to watch the whole thing, but we want to watch part of it. So we'll probably stop right there as it gets around the turn, and that's sort of a low, slow establishing shot. So it's 36 seconds, sort of long, but hopefully it holds the viewer's attention when there's music in there. So I do in all my vlogs in this 100 series, I put the same titles in there, and I thought about maybe titling every vlog. I tried it on one of them, but I didn't really know how I liked it. So I use this random write-on, which is a default. It comes with DaVinci Resolve, and it does that. So this is how I introduce what vlog number I'm on. So this is 37, because this will be released tomorrow, 037. Then what I do is I come over here in this tab on the right side, and I'll go down to my position, and I'm literally just dragging the position where I want to always put this in the lower left hand corner. And over at my opacity slider, I just click on it, and I always put it at 65% because I don't like it being that bright white. And I just am going to find the right spot for that to come in. Normally I let the viewer get a good shot of what's going on, and then we'll do it about 5 seconds in. So right here, and then this is where we'll start playing our number. So this is what that's going to look like. Cool, I like that. And then that'll kind of take their view over for a second to look at that, and then they'll be back engaged as soon as the bridge is coming up, and then hopefully they're looking and they're really involved in this. And this isn't a color corrected image yet, this is just straight out of the drone. So I work a little different. Because some people will tell you that you want to make sure you get your rough edit done first and then go back and color correct every clip. Me, I like to watch my clips back as they're color corrected. And to make this simple and stupid, we're just going to use LUTs here. So I have all of these LUTs, all of these different ones. Some of these are mine, some of these are from the Visual VFX LUT pack that I did a review of on this channel. Some of these are just different ones I've collected over the years. There is a few that I want to try though. So I do have some of my own on here. So let's just see if we were just throw one of my LUTs on there, what it would look like without any adjusting of it. So this is the Green Inferno LUT. This is free on the Drucifer website, www.drucifer.com. That's with it on, that's off, on, off, on, off. Okay, here's another one. This is the Santa Carla LUT. So this one is sort of a very summertime type of LUT. Suspiria LUT, this one is not going to be fitting for this, but it's a very, very saturated LUT. I have a FPV Summer LUT. This actually looks kind of cool on this. Again, it's pretty saturated. And then we have these cathedral LUTs, but those aren't going to work for this. That was for a very particular style. So I'm not going to use any of my LUTs because I have one in mind that I like. And the visual VFX LUTs, they have Hollywood styles that mimic movies and movie colors in the look. So I like this 1917 one. So 1917 military movie shot by Roger Deakins. I like how it looks like film, like how it's not overly saturated. And you can see how that changes the look. But let's say we wanted to use Doctor Sleep, right? Look how saturated that is, right? So that look is cool for some people. You have Hateful Eight. I like this one. La La Land, Crawl. So I could go very dark, right? And make it, put some creepy music and change the entire vibe of the vlog, just depending on the type of music I'm using. So, you know, if I wanted to give it like a creepy feel, or if I edited my my vlogs like I do my films, right? This is probably the look I would go for. A very muted, a very horror film looking look. But it's not the look I'm going for my vlog, so we're gonna go with this 1917 one. And that is just adding that overall LUT. If I want to go and adjust it, I have all of these settings down here. So let's go to the color wheels. So if I wanted to adjust the gamma, I would go down here and I could adjust the gamma a little bit. I could maybe darken that down or light it up. Same with the gain, right? The gain's gonna help me with a little bit of this overall exposure. I can go over here and I could have my highlights brought down a little bit. Maybe get some more of the blue sky in there. Midtones. Midtones are where your skin tones live. Always remember that. If you're messing with your midtones, you're really messing with your skin tones. So, like, if your skin tones aren't right and you're shooting people or you're shooting a film or shooting portraits or something, go mess with those midtones, because that is where you're going to be able to really get in and dig in deep with your skin tones and adjust those. So overall, that looks pretty good to me. Like I said, having a consistent look, at least for each vlog, is important, but having a consistent look over the course of a body of work is very important. So if you're watching my 100 series videos, they have all been in black and white up until yesterday. They're going to be probably in color for the rest of from now until Halloween, and then I'm going to finish out in black and white. But if I was to do this in black and white, I've got this black and white LUT. This is the one that I use right here on all my monochrome footage. Very simple. Throw that on there. Boom, you're done. If you have to adjust the highlights or you know, your shadows, I just hit this curve tool here and I just adjust the curves and then I'm done. Super simple. It's not a professional way to color. It's not how I would color a film, but a vlog. You know, especially when you're doing daily, you need LUTs and you need systems in place to try to get these edits done as quick as possible and not spend forever doing them. So, all right, so here's our establishing shot. Here's what it looks like. We got it color corrected. It's looking good. So we'll throw some music in there in a bit, but now I need to bring in the actual vlog footage. So here we go. So I wasn't really sure, honestly, what I was out here shooting. I don't talk about much. I just wanted it to be a POV hiking video, right? So I start out in a very POV fashion, walking this trail under the bridge. And I'm not talking, not saying anything, just letting you guys hear the ambient noise of being under the bridge. And then I switch around and I start talking right here. So I'm going to go back. And it's not how a pro editor would tell you to do it. Well, I have edited professionally, so this is how I'm telling you to do your vlog. I'm going to go back and I'm going to just throw that 1917 look on this footage. And then I'll go back and I'll adjust it later if need be. But I want that LUT on here while I'm viewing it back. and I want that LUT on here now, so I'm not having to go back and add it to 1,000,001 clips when I start cutting this up. So now this is Insta360 Go 3 footage. I was holding the camera in my hand, just facing it forward. Normally I would have it on a mount, and I do put it on a mount here in a few minutes, but I started out like this. So I really want to just walk and let you guys hear. So you hear my fingers rubbing up against the camera. I don't want to do all that. I want to take it off from here. This is where I start talking about the actual vlog. Cool. So I want to actually increase that volume a little bit. I'm going to hit B on my keyboard. That way I get my blade tool back up. That way I can cut this down. I'm going to cut it down right here. And I want to let this play out a little bit until I turn towards the bridge and stop right there. All right, I'm going to cut that. Hit A to select my cursor. I'm going to cut out this middle piece. Boom. All right. Let's increase this volume a little bit so you can at least hear the ambient noise. Let's see how that cuts together. The reason I want this section in here before I start talking is to show what this trail looks like going under the bridge. Because I think not only is this important to show that, okay, well, this is the trailhead, which I could have talked about if I would have actually planned this vlog out a little better. I would have talked about the trailhead, but I was too busy trying to hurry and get the drone shots and then catch up to my family as they're hiking because they're way farther up the trail. Down the trail, I decided I was going to take some drone shots. And we're just going to do some hiking. All right, so say I'm going to do some hiking, get some photos. I point at this little cave, and I say something like, "How cool is that?" Because it is really gnarly. A little trail goes through there. So the problem you'll find out with my hike today is I pulled a noob move again, and I forgot my SD card in my camera. So I end up not taking a lot of photos. I do, on the other hand, just say, hey, this is going to be a POV vlog. Hang out with me and let's walk this trail. So we're going to go back over here. We're going to put our LUT on our new clip that we brought in. I'm going to click that empty space, right click it, ripple delete, and it moves it up against our previous clip. Now I just got to find out where I want to start this clip at. Because I have to continue the story. I'm like messing in my camera bag at this point. That's why I turned my camera off and then restarted it. Okay, so I put it on the chest mount. And I'm framing it up saying, okay, that exposure looks pretty decent. And you'll notice some strobing in this Insta360 Go 3 footage. That's because I just left it on auto settings, and I think it was doing some weird stuff with the shutter speed. But you live and you learn. You don't notice as much in when we're doing our vlogs in black and white and color. You notice it a good bit. So I'm meant to make sure that in lower light, I'm not leaving it in auto settings. Okay, so I'm talking about getting my camera out. So right here, I say I'm an idiot. I don't say why, though, so that's a problem. I talk about it later in the vlog, I think. So I brought my blade tool out. I cut it where my playhead was. Hit A on the keyboard. And I'm getting that out of here. Ripple deleting because I want to go from this. Saying, hey, look at this cool thing. To, I'm an idiot. Not just idiot, I say full-fledged idiot. So I'm like, well, damn, now I got to carry this camera bag and this drone bag. I'm not flying my drone anymore, but I have the drone bag on me. And I have to carry this camera bag when I can't even take pictures. So I said, screw it, I want to picture this. I'm going to shoot with my phone. So I do this thing in my vlogs where I like to do these POV photography shots. You can see I take a picture with my phone. So I have the actual photo. That's not it. I have the actual photo right up here. I'm going to drag that onto my timeline. Put it right there where I take the photo. Make sure that clip is highlighted. I'm going to go over here to my right hand side to zoom. And I'm just going to drag that to the left to make that smaller because I want to show the picture that I took. And I also have this fake shutter sound because your camera makes a shutter sound, but it's hard to hear on your cameras and whatever. So it's always nice to add in this little shutter sound. Now the X Pro 3, the camera I was going to use has a pretty loud shutter sound. So you could leave that in, but if you want to enhance it, just get a fake shutter sound. And I want that to only stay on the screen for, let's see, we're at, looking at my time here, 2:21:02. That's good enough right there, that long. So we're going to keep it up to for about 2 seconds. So here's what that looks like. We'll go back to where I bring my phone up. That way, and then I take 2 more shots. So what I'll do is I'm just going to cut it here because those other 2 shots really look exactly the same. That's just the photographer in me. I always like take 2 or 3 shots just because I want to make sure that I got the right shot that I want. So we're going to cut a little bit of that out in between, save us a little bit of time, not make people have to watch me take 3 shots. So, and it'll cut together fine. See, you can see a little bit of that strobe and stutter in the footage, a little bit of the noise, but like I said, it's a POV vlog. I'm hiking through the woods, and it's low light because we were up here probably at like 6 p.m. So, you know, I'm not too concerned about it. So I'm talking about the bridge, showing that it passes right in front of the lookout. And then honestly, like, this vlog will be boring for some people. Some people will really enjoy it. People that like these like POV experiences and these like raw, unpolished type of vlogs where it's like, okay, or maybe people interested in this trail, you know, people like that will really enjoy this vlog because the whole thing isn't just me walking through like this, but a good portion of it is. And I don't really like talk about lessons or creativity or anything like that. I just straight up hike, you know, and that's what I wanted the vlog to be. Just look, I'm going about my day. I'm chilling. I'm bringing you guys with me. I'm hiking, and showing you this trail, and you get a very raw, un-Peter McKinnon, un-B-rolled version of the trail. You get it how you would experience it if you went out there. This time of the year, you know, later in the day, this is what this trail would look like. So we're going to skip ahead a little bit. We're not going to watch every frame of this. And if you're editing by yourself and you're not really like wanting to watch every frame of your video, you can either scroll through like I'm doing right now, if you have like a jog wheel, or you can use JK on your keyboard, JKL. Or you can hit right here, right underneath your play window. You have the fast forward clip. You could fast forward it, you know, and watch your stuff in like, you know, 2 times speed or 4 times speed, and that'll help you just speed up your vlog. So I'm checking out this overlook here, looking at it, looking around. Alright, so let's speed through here. Boom, going around this little cliff. Um, alright, so we're gonna have some of this. 'Cause I don't remember what the end of this clip was like. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna come to this bridge. Chuck, if you're still watching, you probably remember this trail. This is where I wrecked my drone into the side of the bridge, I believe. I think this is this trail. So there is a video on my page that is called I crashed my Mavic Air 2, I believe it was, into a bridge. I think this is the bridge I crashed it into because I was trying to come up and down and then underneath not just the viaduct bridge but under this bridge, and I smashed into it and my drone got pinned up sideways against it. It's pretty gnarly. I would go check it out if you're into drones. All right, so I got this clip here. I'm gonna hit B, cut that down, scroll forward, and then I have this shot. I set the camera down and just a walking shot of walking across the bridge. So here's a little bit of B-roll, but the problem is the Go 3 does this wonky thing where sometimes even if you have it sitting in landscape orientation, it wants to film you in a portrait orientation and vice versa. So I got to select that clip, go over here to my right hand side, and I'm going to hit the video tab and then rotation angle. So I know I need to rotate it negative 90 degrees. Maybe not. Let's put it at 180. Let's try 90 degrees. There we go. That's what we wanted. So the problem is now we have the skinny image because it wanted to shoot it in portrait. So I'm just going to zoom in the footage. I mean, it is what it is at this point. I could either not have it or I could have it. And like I said, it's raw, unpolished footage. I don't really care. It doesn't look too bad. So rare shot of me wearing shorts. Don't get used to it. Doesn't happen often. So I have to go back. This is the funny thing about vloggers is you have to go back and you have to pick up your camera. So you really walk everywhere twice. So I want to make sure that you don't see me turn around behind this bush. I want to disappear enough behind the bush right there before I turn around. Hit B, my blade tool, click it. I'm gonna hit A. All right, let's see if we can't turn this background music off. I don't want that to be too distracting here. All right, here we go. Okay, so we want to make sure that this volume on this clip is turned up. So you can select that clip, go over to audio and increase it, because if there's any ambient noise, I want to make sure it is audible. Because you can hear like a river or like a creek. Probably need to turn this up a little bit too. Okay, cool. All right. So now we got this. See, I mean, this camera, for what it is and how small the sensor is, that does not look bad at all. You know, in my eyes, it doesn't. But, you know, I sort of like the lo-fi look. I like the film look. You know, not everything has to be super crisp and 8K to me. I sort of like, you know, when stuff looks organic and not overly polished. All right, so that was this shot here. We're going to go up and we're going to grab this next clip. So I just drug it onto my timeline, select the empty space, right click, ripple delete, and that'll automatically move it against your playhead. So I don't even remember what I'm talking about here, but I'm going to highlight the clip, go down to my color tab. Let's throw our 1917 LUT on there. Okay, so here's where I'm talking about. I left my SD card, and I feel like an idiot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab this volume and sort of just turn it up a little bit. So we're at 4.41 dB there. Over here we're at 7 dB. I just want to make sure that the audio levels aren't too crazy going back and forth. So I want to start here. What I want to do is I want to cut this where I'm pulling it away from me. So right here, I'm in motion of pulling it away. Hit B to bring up my blade tool, cut it right where the playhead's at, hit A to select the spot, the clip that we want out of there, Control X, click in your empty space, right click, ripple delete. So in true me form, I forgot to put an SD card in my camera. So unless I take shots with my phone, I'm not going to be able to take any photos out here, which is extremely unfortunate because the light is right now. And then I get some shots like this, sort of showing like your stepping stones and the stuff that you'd have to step on. Such a cool little spot. Hang out, watch sunset. So if you're interested in what the path looks like, is it strenuous? You know, how's the footing? This right here is helpful because it's going to show you like exactly what the type of terrain it is that you're going to have to walk on. So if you're doing POV vlogs and you're doing like hiking vlogs and stuff like that, then this may be something you want or need to include. This is something that I'd want to see if I wanted to see how a trail looked. So there's motorcycles right now going on that bridge. So right now I'm not saying anything, so I can cut all this out. Surely they can't be this far ahead of me. All right, so again, my family, they walked ahead of me while I was flying my drone. No clue where they're at. There was another video on this same trail where they did the same thing where I was shooting instant photography. It's just a life of a vlogger, a life of somebody that flies drones or likes to take photos. And when you hike and go out with your family, you know, sometimes they don't want to hang out. They want to go about their business as you're sitting there doing your thing, and then you always have to play catch up. All right. So I want to cut this right about here. We'll cut it right here and see how that is. We'll shorten up this entire vlog by taking out all this empty space. All right, so let's see how this little part flows. Surely they can't be this far ahead of me. Okay, we might take that out of there. Go here. We don't need so much of the walking. I don't want that motorcycle sound in there. So maybe here, B for your razor tool, A for selection, Command X. All right, here we go. Surely they can't be this far ahead of me. Surely they can't be this far ahead of me. Because I'm moving. Because I'm moving. I say that really weird, but I'll keep it in there. All right, so we're going to grab the next clip. You can just grab it, drag it, and drop it. Delete. So here's one of those good things where the Insta360 Go decided it was going to record in whichever orientation it wanted to. So make sure I have my clip selected. Go to rotation angle, click it. And then I'm going to put in 90. There we go. Put it at the right angle. Go up to my zoom, and I'm just going to zoom in that footage. And let's see what I'm talking about here. I see them. They're about 20 feet up that way. Oh my God. So this is literally just going to be a hiking POV vlog the rest of the time, since I didn't bring my camera, or I brought my camera, but didn't bring an SD card for it. So hiking POV vlog. Enjoy it. All right, so there we go. I talk about the hiking POV vlog because it was originally going to be like just me hiking, me photography, me doing some photography on the vlog. But since I forgot my stuff, I forgot my SD card, plans change, and that's okay. So here I'm like, okay, well, look, they're 20 feet up that way. And I'm saying this because I wanted to scare them. So I pulled off over here, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I can go up here and scare them. Hiking POV vlog. Enjoy it. Now, I don't cut here, but I do this transition. And the transition gives me time to put the camera on a chest mount. So that's what all this is. And Insta360 Go 3 decided it was going to change the orientation again. So I need to click this with the blade, A, click in there, Command X, get rid of it, ripple delete. Then we need to turn this orientation right. So we go back over here, rotation angle. Let's do 0 and see what that does. And that puts us at the right orientation. All right, and then we need to just zoom it on in. I think that's right angle. Yeah, man, I wish it wouldn't have done that. It actually really just did it really just did that. So I think I'll fix it because I think I notice it. Because that is really too low of quality right there. With it zoomed in that much. Yeah, see, I'm trying to fix it. Because sometimes if you just turn the camera, it fixes it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of the rest of this. So Command X and pick it up on the next clip. Drag my clip in. Let's go ahead to the color page. Hit my 1917 LUT. Go back over to the edit page. Select the negative space in the middle. Ripple delete. There we go. Now we're back in the proper orientation. Crank up my volume just a little bit. You can either do that down here by pulling on this little this line that represents, you know, your waveform volume, or you can do it over here in the audio section and just, you know, either type in a value in the volume or use this slider. So either way works. And that's how you transition in camera, ladies and gentlemen. You can just pull it to your chest, and then when you pull it out or do something different, you automatically have it. So you see my finger here because I'm trying to adjust the camera to make the horizon somewhat level. So we're going to cut all this out. I'm going to wait till I get here. Okay. B for my blade, A for my cursor. Select that portion of the clip we don't want. Command X. Highlight the negative space. Ripple delete. Let's scrub back a little bit. And let's watch it through and see how that transition from clip to clip is. All right, so now we're just, like I said, POV in it. Now, input is welcome. Should I put some low music behind the actual vlog, like some ambient music or some like lo-fi music, or should I just let the forest speak for itself? I mean, like I said, the vlog is a very just raw and unpolished vlog. I don't care if there's music or not. And here in the vlog, I say I'm gonna try and scare him, but so I walk down this little game trail right here off the main trail, try to creep. But the game trail kind of ran out, so they would have heard me if I would have walked through all that brush. So what we'll do is we'll cut out some of this random just walking, probably to here. We get past this tree. It's a good transition point. Let's scroll back here. I want to make sure. So here's one thing I like to do when I'm editing. If I'm gonna cut, I want to either cut right before or right after I get past an object. If I'm like walking past something, and there's no reason for that. I think it just adds to the flow. Okay, and I'm gonna go right here to where I'm talking about. I'm gonna try and scare him. So let's see how that transition goes. Yeah, I agree with you, Chuck. We'll probably throw some low music because now that I'm watching this back, um, I think it needs something to help just sort of push the story along. Even though, like I said, I mean, I hope people go into this understanding what this vlog is, and they watch it because they want to see the trail. And they're not so concerned about just the overall video quality because it's really not that great with, like I said, the camera I was shooting with and automatic settings. I wasn't really paying that close attention to it because I was more focused on enjoying my hike, and video was honestly second. Because if I would have been more focused on video, I would have been like, okay, well, let's Peter McKinnon the crap out this thing, and let's get some B-roll. I'm gonna add some swooshes, and I've done all that. Walked these trails with a gimbal, with a cinema camera on it, and I don't know, not about that life when it comes to just hiking and stuff anymore. I've done all that. So there they are. Where are they at? Nope, still not them yet. I am just shaking side to side for some reason. That camera's. Oh yeah, that's me. My son was up there. He was up there. I think I seen him taking a picture of. I said his name all weird. So where's he at? Right there. So he hears me. He's like, "I see you," and he runs off. So I find him. Right. So there they go. And my wife is not that much further ahead. He was taking a picture of a tree, which is pretty cool. I guess that's what he was doing. He was looking at the tree. I don't think he was peeing. Uh, he may have been. I don't know, but I know, like, I think he's interested in photography, but he doesn't let me know because he's still being a rebellious kid. So I don't think he's letting me know that he's also interested in some of the things I'm interested in. Because when he was like 4 or 5, we would go out and take pictures. Like he had a little Fisher Price camera, and he was all about it. We would just walk the Greenway trails and walk around, take photos. But now he's like, photos are your thing because I've offered to buy him a camera so many times, and like I've offered to buy him drones, and he's just like, nope, that's your thing. So I'm not going to include all this in here. Um, I mean, I can. Maybe it's important for the story. I can get to him from that way. Crap. All right. Let me see. Smell you. I tell him, I say, I can smell you. Avery, I can smell you. He's like, oh, I'm out of here. So he jogs up there forward. My wife is up there. Simon's up there. So we're just going to cut this out, this whole section. I don't think it's important to the story. So I walk with them for a bit instead of vlogging. I turn the camera off. So we end up at this little overpass here, or not this overpass, this overlook that overlooks the bridge. This is just a cool spot I like going to when we hit this trail. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick up in this POV style. We're gonna go from here up to there. It's important that if you're sitting here, show a portion of your body. That way people get perspective, one of how big things are, how high up you are, and that you are wearing the camera on your chest or something like that. So going back over to the color page, we're gonna hit 1917. That's our cool little World War II film look. All right, so let's actually go back, scrub back, hit play. I can't get to him from that way. Chuck, you're watching it tonight, so you don't have to watch it tomorrow. It's true. It's probably more. This will probably be more interesting to watch this way, to be honest with you. Okay, so showing y'all some leg action there. Let's see. Okay, so we want to go from like here. I don't want this shot to be about my legs. Okay, so we're going to go to that. I don't like the rubbing on I'm doing on the camera. I don't know what that was. Okay, so as the camera starts to move, I like to cut on motion. So we're going to cut it. Let's see. You could be so unfortunate because, unfortunately for you guys, me talking to my family. Walk in. There's Simon. There's Emery. There's my wife. I think I jump across here like an idiot. And then back to POV. So I don't know if the jump is worth having. Not really. It's a little small leap. But maybe it'll add some dynamic to it. I was actually telling them through this whole section right here. They were like, "Be careful," and I was like, "Yeah, it's unfortunate. My life insurance plan through my job is terrible. Um, so even if I die, I'm actually worth more to you guys alive than I am dead. So making a joke about my life insurance plan, it's shit, but it is for most working class people. All right, so here we go. We're back in the terrain shot. Important to people that are hikers, not so important to people that want entertainment in their vlogs. Tonawall Trail, Land Cove parking area. That's the name of the trail. That wouldn't be bad to have as the thumbnail. So like, let's say I didn't have a thumbnail plan for this. Then what you can do is get you a frame that you like. So let's say I like this frame. Right there. Go over to your color tab. You right click it. Like actually right click your preview up here. Grab still. Right? Then up here in your very top left, you have your gallery. Now I have that still there. I right click it and then I can export that still, right? So I just export that and then I can use that as my thumbnail. And if it's a high res enough image, you can put it in an editor and you could edit it down and you could do whatever you want to it and make it look good. But that's a good way to get a thumbnail if you don't have one. So yeah, I think showing that sign's important. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut there. Then here. I don't remember what I'm talking about. Put my left leg up first too, that way. Talking about, do you put your left leg up first when you when you step up when you're hiking, or do you put your right leg up first? That's a good question for anybody out there that's watching. If you're hiking and you have to step up onto anything, do you put your left leg up first, or do you put your right leg up first? Or should I say, do you put your dominant leg up first, or and keep your dominant leg down? Which one do you guys do? All right, so that was it for that clip. Let's bring in this next clip. Like I said, guys, this is by no means a super entertaining vlog. It's a super simple one. Literally just, like I said, POV hiking. I had something else planned. Left the SD card at home. So find a silver lining. Make do with what you got. And I could have walked around here and I could have talked about like creativity topics, but I've been doing that a lot in my last couple of vlogs. That I sort of just I wanted a raw, unpolished vlog. So we need to make sure that we have our LUT put on this clip. So I want to click on it, go over to my color tab, hit my LUT tab, 1917, double click it. And just so you guys know, here's what it looks like. I can toggle that on and off. So I think it looks better with that. Is flat coming straight out of the Insta360 Go 3. That's just with just minimal color grading or a LUT applied to it. And then, like I said, I could color grade that down further if I wanted to. So I think this is kind of a cool shot going under this log. Nothing spectacular. See my wife up there in the distance. She's about to go across the bridge. You hear me let out a freaking moan going down that rock. Yeah, so vlogs like this can be kind of embarrassing depending on what you're talking about or the noises you make while you're hiking. So we could go under this. Let's scroll back a little bit. Let's cut right here. Not because of the moan, but because that's just a boring shot from there to the bridge. And I stop and I try and get a shot of my wife. I try to do this like sweeping motion. I'm like, oh, maybe this will look cool since I'm holding the camera in my hand anyways. And try and do this like dolly from side to side motion, or like just like a slow like dolly. I don't know what I was doing. I was hungry. Leave me alone. So maybe we'll pick up right here. This is by no means indicative of my capability as a cinematographer. I just want to throw this out there. This is me just playing with an action camera, wearing it on my chest and holding it in my hand, walking through the woods. All right, so I actually don't like that. So we're not going to even include that. But we will include this. Because just the shot of her randomly makes no sense. Remember the Chekhov's guns rule. I mean, I mentioned her earlier in the vlog. But jeez. Why am I manhandling the camera like that? Like rubbing all over the side of it. Okay, so we can't use that. We need to pick up right here, hit B, click it, A, click it, Command X to get rid of it, ripple delete. All right, let's scrub back. Perfect hiking weather. It was amazing up here, 70 degrees. Let's increase that volume a little bit. Let's increase this one some. This one, I'm just making them all even. I could put the numbers in or use my slider, but I could see where these lines match up. So perfect hiking weather. It was amazing up here, 70 degrees. And that is literally me just holding the camera in my hand. I don't have a selfie stick. I didn't bring it with me. I usually keep my selfie stick in my car just so I always have it. We drove my wife's car up here, so I thought about it when I was going up towards the mountain, and I was like, "Well, not gonna have that. It's gonna kinda suck." Alright, so here we go. Here's a little bit more of this, and then we're gonna finish this out. We're gonna make this no longer than 15 minutes. I still have to shoot an outro for the vlog, so I'm gonna do that still. Me taking pictures of my family, I'm not gonna include that. Um, taking a shot of that very first overlook we came to at the beginning of the vlog. You see Simon there. Ones, be careful, you can't be. This is me and my wife giving my son parenting advice because he likes to park core through freaking trails and he doesn't like to slow down. We're like, "Oh, you're gonna break your ankle, man. You better chill." I don't know if I like any of this, to be honest with you. Come get a picture. Come over here and get a picture with me then. I was trying to get my son to get over there and get a picture with me. Simon was getting awfully close to the edge here. Let me see if I can find it. He likes to pretend that he is Simba, Pride Rock, in The Lion King. Where's he at? Look at him. That guy is fearless. Let's just say I wanted to make this the thumbnail. Let's just see how that would turn out. So if I wanted to do that, I would need to cut this because it's the wrong orientation. So I would need to go right there. I would need to change the orientation. So over here on the right side, the rotation angle, let's put 90. Then I would have to zoom in like so. And then probably adjust the position, the y-axis. Oh man, that's terrible. It's gonna be so zoomed in, it wouldn't be worth it. Nope. The quality would be so low because of how zoomed in it is. You can't even tell from that angle what it is. All right, so we're just gonna cut that out of there. Here's a little bit more. Like I said, I didn't shoot a whole heck of a lot. Rub my wife's back. She was gassed out. Slapping her on the butt. See that? She that should be the thumbnail right there. Now she was leaned up against the rock because she was like, "I'm tired" or whatever. So I rubbed her on her back, and then of course, rub your wife's back, rub your husband's back, your boyfriend's back, and give him a pat on the ass. So, if you're new here, my wife doesn't like being in the vlogs. She's just like, "Well, that's your thing. You do your thing." God, how many times was I slapping her on the butt? Holy crap. That goes on forever. And then rubbing her on the back, and, "Alright, I'm going through the cave." Oh, man. Stupid. See, I couldn't just put this footage in here because it's so out of context. People will be like, "Why is that lady, like, leaned up against the rock? And why why are you slapping her on the butt?" Okay, alright, let me scroll past this. Alright, so this part's kinda cool because you walk through this little, these 2 little rock walls. I'm watching the I'm watching the live preview where it's over here on my iPad so I can monitor any comments or whatever. And yeah, it's just I was looked over and I'm just like slapping her on the ass over and over again. Oh man. Okay. So yeah, so this is kind of a cool part of the trail. We got this little cave back in here. Look at Simon, world's most loyal dog. He's just waiting. Emery's up there on the top left. He took the parkour route because he's like, "Well, I know y'all just talked to me about I could potentially break my ankles, but I don't care. Who needs ankles?" and Simon's the same way. So hanging out here, I think I'm trying to help my wife down. So, all right, so there's really not much there. If I wanted to add anything, it's just really the walk through the cave. So let's see. I don't even know if this footage is. You know what? Let's put this in here. Command X, ripple delete, ass slaps. I don't know what we're talking about. Hopefully nothing embarrassing. Giving parental advice. I'm just not going to include any of that. He's right here, Tom. He's right here. It's on. I'm letting my wife know that my son is right there, and he didn't fall off the other edge of the cliff. All right, so we're going to get rid of this, I think. We can get rid of this too. All right, so that's basically it. I shoot a little bit more of the trailhead here. My son's running, sprinting. So here's the funniest thing. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's being a father or what it is, but I stop and I wait on my family to catch up, or my son has to go pee and goes off trail, I stop and I wait for him, or if my dog is, doing his business, I stop and wait for him. I'm just hanging out, just waiting on them, making sure they're not lagging behind and by themselves. And as soon as they get done doing their business, or as soon as they get done tying their shoe, it's like they're gone. And I'm like, I was waiting on you. Like, I was literally waiting on you. You can't walk with me? I don't know. I don't know. Don't know. Nobody wants to be last, I don't guess. All right, so I'll get this shot of my son running down the trail. So here's the viaduct bridge to the right, and it's crazy. That is a massive, massive piece of concrete right there. It's I don't even understand how, like, the engineering. It's incredible. All right. So then I turn the camera around. I sort of talk a little bit, not very long. I think I say, that's the viaduct bridge. That's basically it. That's the Tonawanda Trail underneath the viaduct, or part of it. That trail goes on for miles upon miles upon miles, but that's the best part of it. That's facts. That's the best part of the trail, but the trail is super, super long. I think you could take it, I don't know, maybe even over to the Appalachian Trail. Like, it is so long. All right, so that's basically it. That's the Tonawanda Trail. I don't know if there's that little thud at the end of the clip. I want to make sure that's not there. That's basically it. And I don't want to just sit there and look at the camera forever with my hand held out, so let me cut some of that out of there. All right. That's basically it. That's the Tonawanda Trail underneath the viaduct, or part of it. That trail goes on for miles upon miles upon miles, but that's the best part of it. All right, so when we get out, I shoot a little bit of this. This is at the trailhead. I could actually include this in the beginning, but I'd rather have the drone shot. So if you're somebody that cares a whole lot, then you could read this. In the video, you could pause the video and read this. I just don't really honestly know where I'd put this at this point. And it's okay to not include footage. Like, you've seen me cut out a lot. It's okay to cut out stuff like this. You may not need it. Or let's say maybe it looks better if I was to play this in reverse. So let's try that. So let's play it in reverse. So we would right click it. We'd go to change clip speed. We would hit reverse speed, change, and it's going to play that clip in reverse, because maybe it'll look better if I go from the trailhead down to the sign. instead of vice versa. I think so. I think that looks better. And we need to probably cut it to where it's actually in motion. Because remember, cutting on motion, guys, that's a key takeaway. You want to make sure you're cutting on motion. You don't want to go from motion to static unless you're like intentionally not going to move the camera. Like if you're not going to move the camera, then you can go from motion to static. But if you're going from motion to motion, you don't want to go motion, static, motion. It's really jarring unless you have a good bit of, time there that's gonna lapse in between when you start moving again. And that talks about it. So essentially, viaduct bridge, S-shaped structure contains 153 concrete segments, only one of which is straight, weighing 50 tons each, and joined by epoxy and massive steel tendons. It's 1/4 mile long, supported by 7 piers. Let me see. It doesn't say the year it was made or the year it was in construction. I'm gonna say the 70s. Might have been earlier than that. Let's look it up since we're here on a live stream. Just for, you know, all intents and purposes. It was completed in 1987. From 1979 to 1987. And you want to know why I said 70s? Because that photo right here, these two photos that you see on the sign, look like they were taken in the 70s. So it's that photographer eye. Just thinking about old pictures that you've seen in your life, you can kind of tell when stuff, obviously they're in color, but you know, you could tell when things were taken in the early 1900s versus like the 90s, like 1990s, or even modern day, just by um, camera technology, right? Like, I mean, you could go out and shoot something with a point and shoot or like a film simulation or something like that. I could probably go out and shoot something that's under construction right now with my Fujifilm recipes I have loaded up in my Fujifilm X Pro 3 and make it look like it was shot from the 70s. But typically, people don't do that. Typically, they wouldn't put images with uh, film sims and stuff like that on a sign like this. They're always going to probably have a photographer that's just going out using whatever modern day technology they have their hands on, not doing any editing to it, boom, plastering it on the sign. So it's always interesting to play that game. Like, when was this place built? Oh, there's not a date on it. Well, let's look at the photos. What time period do those look like they're from? And we were right. See? All right, so here's this. And this is essentially it for the entire vlog, right? The entire vlog is this. Like I said, it's not the most interesting one in the world, but it is the one that we're gonna have uploaded for tomorrow. Um, Chuck says the 70s was real good. Yeah, 70s look cool. Had some interesting music, some experimental times for a lot of people, and had some really, really rad cars. Some of my favorite cars are from the 70s. But this, like I said, is a very easy way to edit a vlog down in DaVinci Resolve. What we're going to do is so super easy way to edit a vlog using the DaVinci Resolve Speed Editor. Now, I know it would have made more sense if I would have had a camera set up to show you guys what I was doing on this thing as I was editing. I'm looking into getting another camera for the live streams and trying to figure out how to mount it somewhere else so I have like a 2-cam setup. Now, when I say another camera, I have multiple cameras. I mean like just another camera. Maybe like something simple, like one of the nicer webcams that have come out, because I don't really want to invest in like a full size camera for live streaming because I already have 2 of those. Um, but the problem here is I'm running my camera not through a switcher, but I'm running it through the Camlink 4K, which only has one HDMI input. And that's the one that this camera is being shot on. So the other one I may need to run USB-C or run into USB. Trying to figure out the live streaming thing. I don't know. We'll see. All in due time. Live streams are just going to get better and better, and we'll go more in depth on editing. I can't wait till I can do some of these live stream editing tutorials for a film where it's actually it takes more than just cutting and moving clips and trying to decide like a simple story, right? Because you can change an entire story in the edit, right? So that's why a lot of directors and stuff, they want the final edit of their films, like writers and directors on big movies. They're like, okay, well, we're hiring an editor, but I want say in the final edit because it doesn't matter how much directing you do or how you shoot a film from a cinematographer standpoint, you can completely change the way the film looks stylistically and the pacing of the film, which is what normally a director is responsible for, just in the edit. So, and you could change the story. Like maybe something doesn't happen until 30 seconds later in a film, but the editor's like, you know what, it doesn't really flow like that, so I'm going to move that 30 seconds sooner in the film. And then I don't know, you're the writer, and it's I don't know, your magnum opus, and then you go see it and you're like, "Oh, what the hell?" Like they totally screwed up my story. So, it's interesting how much you can change in an edit, and it's interesting when writers and directors don't opt for getting say in the final edit. So, I don't know. You got to be careful who you work with when you sign on to bigger projects, and you got to make sure that you are watching out for your own creative property. Um, I don't know. Just a thought that is spurred off of this, but I would love to when we get the horror anthology shot, of course, we'll be doing some live streaming on set. And we'll be doing live streaming for the edits. And like I said, just the whole thing. I think it's really important to not only talk to you guys about projects and talk to you guys about how to do things and provide tips, tricks, and tutorials. Um, but I think it is more important to show you because tips, tricks, and tutorial videos are cool, but they're not as cool as like watching somebody do it. Or some people don't learn by watching a screen share. They watch by um actually seeing somebody do it, right? Like or they don't watch by okay, well, here's 5 basic cinematography tips that every cinematographer should know. It's like that's cool, but let me see you put those into practice, you know. Like I said, there's that quote. I mentioned it in one of my previous vlogs. It's like those who can do and those who can't teach. And I think that's what a lot of YouTube is. Like we need teachers, right? But it's better when you have a teacher that can do. And um just because you can teach it doesn't mean that you can actually apply it. And it doesn't mean that what you're teaching is correct because it says so in a photography book or a cinematography book. Um, because sometimes on paper things look one way, but in practice and in the field, they're done a completely different way. So I don't know, just food for thought there. But that's essentially how you can edit a very, very simple vlog. Let me reinstate that. A very, very simple vlog. Like there was no really major thought put into this. There was no color correction done. Sometimes in my vlogs, I put in B-roll, I put in a score, I put in, a story, right? Now, since I'm doing daily, it's been a little bit harder to do that. But like normally there's a little bit more meat and potatoes in my vlogs than this one. Like I said, this is literally just me walking through the woods. And this will probably just be maybe even an extra vlog I upload, right? I may upload this just for the people that have watched this video. Like it'll be public on my channel, but if you want to see it, go watch it. And then maybe even release something else tomorrow because I feel like this vlog is cheating in a way, like, because it's just so simple, and simple sometimes good. Like I said, you don't need to Peter McKinnon the shit out of your stuff. And I hate just bringing him up constantly. Like, the dude's awesome. The dude's very skilled, but it's just the style that people have taken of his, and they have just like molded into like this crazy just style of videography that I hate. And we all tried to replicate him at one time. Um, Not my finest moment as a filmmaker, as a videographer. It was chasing sort of like trying to get clout on YouTube. And a lot of people that shoot that style, edit that style, on YouTube, they do get a following because people eat that up. But to me, I'm here on YouTube just documenting my life. Like, literally, that's what it is. Some videos are gonna be better than others. Some days are better than others. That's life, you know. Some days are gonna be more well produced and more thought out than other ones. And you're gonna like certain videos better than you like the other ones, and you're not gonna watch them all. That's just life. Whether you like it or you don't, try the next one. You may like it, but like I said, I don't know. I'm just everyday guy, you know. I've done a lot of video photo work in my life, and I have a lot of practical knowledge in both areas. Um, and done professional gigs in all three categories: filmmaking, photography, and editing. Um, and you don't always have to, like I say, you don't always have to do like crazy shit in your edits to edit professionally, or you don't have to always like do crazy stuff in your cinematography to shoot professionally, or you don't have to take crazy photos of outrageous landscapes or supermodels with crazy expensive cameras to shoot professionally. Like, I've shot with the most basic equipment, and I've shot with really expensive equipment, and it all really is the same. The difference between cheap stuff and expensive stuff, the expensive stuff really only makes it a little bit easier to get your end goal or your end image than the cheaper stuff does, right? Because any camera that's come out in the last decade, last 10 years, shoots amazing images. Whether you're talking about video, whether you're talking about photo, right? Um, and DaVinci Resolve, this editing software we're working in today, they have a free version. You could do 98% of its functionality in the free version, and it's optimized to run on really cheap computers, really high-end computers, iPads. Now, um, I don't know if they do. I haven't been paying attention, but I think that if they don't have it, I'm pretty sure I heard they're coming out with a phone app. So I mean, you're talking like what? And it's free, and it's something that professional like professional editing houses use, you know, so like I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this tangent. Um, but just saying like you can do a lot with simple equipment, with simple equipment, simple software, and just spending a little bit of time and learning how to use it. You don't have to always buy extra stuff like this. Everything I did with this thing here, you can do on you can do on your keyboard, you know, do on keyboard like this, or do on a wired keyboard, do it on a laptop, do it on a really cheap keyboard, doesn't matter. Anyways, that is me on my soapbox. But does anybody have any last thoughts before I hop off here? I appreciate that Peter Rabbit style, Chuck. That's a good style. Does that just mean that you edit fast, really, really fast, and you shoot really, really fast? So, Chuck, um, me and Chuck, we work at the same place. He works the opposite shifts as me. So he works during the week. I work on the weekends. Neither one of us ever have time to create content, but somehow we're able to do it. Um, Between family life, between work life, between just everything life throws at you. Now Chuck does entirely a different type of content. You can pipe in here, Chuck, if you want, but this guy, he uploads almost daily. I've seen him upload like 2 or 3 videos a day. you know, and um I would say his niche, his genre, correct me if I'm wrong, Chuck, is like he's like a sports reporter. Like he reports on sports, specifically South Carolina sports. And so he has to chase the breaking news. So when the breaking news comes, Chuck is right there. So that's why it's 2 or 3 times a day sometimes. But the takeaway, the reason I'm mentioning this is uh, he is somebody that has a lot of dedication to what he does, and somebody that, whether or not the algorithm is pushing his videos, like they don't really push mine, uploading for the love of uploading, right? Uploading for the love of the topic that you're covering. So honestly, like the love of horror filmmaking, the love of filmmaking in general, the love of helping beginner filmmakers is really where my passion lies on YouTube. And it's more or less just really hanging out with somebody else that like is a filmmaker, photographer, like I say all the time, come to this channel to hang out, come to this channel to get away from the over polished spectacle videos that you see on YouTube, the Mr. Beast, the Arax, the Ryan Trahans, like skilled guys doing their thing. They're making millions of dollars off of YouTube. Nobody can deny that whatever they're doing is entertaining and it works. Um, but as great as 12-year-old kids are, I have a 12-year-old. I'm not making content for 12-year-olds. I'm not making Disney Junior or Nickelodeon content. Um, and honestly, like a lot of those channels, you could take it, and it is like a episode of Paw Patrol. And granted, they're making millions of dollars doing it, and so would I if I followed that format. But not who I am, not what my channel to be, what I want my channel to be about. And this has taken a weird turn off of editing a vlog, but like I said, it's just hanging out. So um, I think I think it's important, sometimes going back to Chuck's upload style, my upload style. Sometimes you'll see this man upload in the car or shoot in the car and upload, I guess, as he's at work, like shoot a short in your car to get that idea out, hit upload, let that thing upload when you're in your 9 to 5 job. It's sort of like you're getting paid to make a video at that point, which is awesome. Um, but it's what I do a lot. Like you guys know, I'll live stream on the way to work on my work days or sometimes shoot a short. And sometimes simple videos are good enough. Sometimes videos where the audio is maybe not of the highest quality. We all know it's important. We all know it's important, but maybe it's not of the highest quality. Get over it. Like get over it, make the next video better. You know, um Same with the video. Like this vlog we edited today, normally in the past if I wasn't doing daily, I would have just throw this video away. I'd be like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's pixelated, it's grainy, the orientation's off in some of the shots, like the horizon isn't stable. I'm not doing it. There's not a story here really other than me just hiking, you know, documenting my hike from a POV style. I don't talk a whole lot. It's trash, you know. That would be my normal opinion on it. And it may be trash. You may say, well, it is trash, but the 100 series isn't about really each individual video. It's about the project as a whole, right? It's about 100 days of vlogging. It's about what could I accomplish in 100 days, And like I said, some days are off days. Some days are really exciting and happy days. Other days you feel sick. Other days you feel great. Some days you go hiking. Some days you don't feel like uh trying to use correct language. You don't feel like screwing around with your camera, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's it's okay, especially if you have something like a project or a series or your frequency is there, to sometimes the quality is gonna be a little bit lower. And, Normally, I'd always say quality over quantity, but, in my particular scenario, it's honestly like you have a baseline for quality. Hopefully, it doesn't droop below that. As long as you don't go below that baseline, right, you're good. You can kinda dip and hit that baseline every once in a while. You wanna stay up here, but it's okay if you hit that baseline as long as you bounce back up and you're only touching that baseline every once in a while. Just don't go to where it's, like, completely unwatchable, where there's just, like, constant wind blowing into the mic or there's, noisy video where it's just completely, unwatchable. I don't know. Anybody have any last thoughts surrounding that at all before we hop off this live stream? I've got about maybe 5 to 10 more minutes, and then we're gonna get off here. So if we're here in DaVinci Resolve, right, let's just finish this out. Let's just say we wanna edit this vlog and finish it down. Like I said, this will probably be just a supplemental vlog, so look for it on the channel. Um, I may even take this title out right here, this 37, and upload something completely different, for tomorrow, but this right here may change. But if I wanted to render this out, we have this whole section of it. I do have a end screen that you guys are used to seeing, and it is my logo right here. It is the skeleton operator. So I always include that. That's what I would play at the end. And this was a video I made, so I use that same video now. So I made that video a long time ago, made the logo, and rendered it out, and now it's just a video clip that I drag in at the end of every vlog or every video I do. Um, but you could put something like that at the beginning if you wanted to. You could put whatever you wanted in the middle. Normally, when you're editing, you'll have 2 or 3, maybe even I've seen 7, like video layers here. So, and a lot of times if I have music and sound effects and stuff like that, I'll throw those in down here and then I'll start sort of like cutting and fading the music in and out. That'll be another instructional for another day of editing to music. We'll do more of these type of vlogs, these editing vlogs, or these editing vlog live streams or video editing live streams, should I say rather. Um, but basically it. If you guys want, we can play this, and then after we play this, we will call it quits. So you could see this and how we cut it together. So let's go to, we'll blow this up so it's big. Let me see here. All right, so you can go and you can blow it up to where it says Cinema Viewer, and it'll make it full screen for playback for you or for whoever. And like I said, we're just gonna play this, and we'll see how we cut it together, just to see what we did together, and then I want to make sure that this is showing full screen on your screen as well, though. So let me see. I don't know that it is. I don't think so. Let me see here. Let me see if I can blow it up full screen for you. I think that did it. Right? I think that did it. Okay, let's see. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's play this through. We definitely need some music here. I mean, I wasn't planning on not putting music here, but we got to put some music here because this is a really long shot. See, right there to the left is where we're standing in that one shot. All right, so here we are on the viaduct trail under that bridge that you saw in the opening shot. Tawny and Emery, they have taken off, gone down the trail. Well, I decided I was going to take some drone shots. Then we're just going to do some hiking and get some photos. Look at this. I'm an idiot. Full-fledged idiot. There's the bridge. Pass us right in front of this lookout. So this this walking through the woods part's actually pretty long. It's got me contemplating whether I need to cut this down or not. I don't know if music will really help. Um, oh man, it's amazing. I'll probably cut it down, probably off camera, and add some music, and then you guys will see what we did as, I guess, really our first pass through. We'll cut it down. I'll add some music and make the pacing a little bit quicker. Because if I shot instructional hiking videos, this would be okay. Even though that's sort of just the vibe I was going for. Okay, well here's this trail, raw, documented, unpolished. That's not what my channel's about. I need to really just kind of like keep it sort of in line with, okay, well, it's just a little bit faster paced. Cool. Well, this is kind of honestly boring. Like if I want to click away, I'm sure you guys want to click away. So we're gonna speed this up. So an SD card in my camera. So unless I take shots with my phone, I'm not gonna be able to take any photos out here, which is extremely unfortunate because the light is right now. Such a cool little spot. Hang out, watch sunset. I see them. They're about to. Oh my god. Wait. Crap. On for miles upon miles upon miles, but that's the best part of it. Okay, cool. So I kind of know the things that I'm going to improve upon. I'm definitely going to cut that down way shorter. So I think that it'll probably be cut at least in a third of the length that it is now. Throw some music in there, get those points that I'm trying to talk about in the vlog a little bit earlier in the video, and then end it because there's no reason for it to really drag out as long as it drags out. So that's really it. Like I said, that's a very simple first pass through on a vlog, as well as some of my other stupid thoughts that I shared throughout this video. Um, like I said, this Thursday, well, this Friday, we're going to be doing some more of the writing on the horror anthology on the live stream. So look forward to that. I hope you guys tune in and join me then. And just come hang out. Come hang out. Have some ideas ready because I'm going to have some script pages ready for you guys to look through and read and for us to add on to on Friday. So be ready for that. But as always, guys, stay rad. Just go shoot. And as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow.